What's going on YouTube, man? Today we are back with another banger, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button to help my videos get recommended. You feel me? Help me grow my community. Help me help you. I keep coming with the bangers. You smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you new. I keep coming with the bangers, man. You feel me? Today we finna be reacting to pro-gun versus anti-gun. So apparently they brought people who was pro-gun and people who was anti-gun and brought them together to see, like, for them to understand their views and their values. So we finna jump right into this video, man. I know y'all missed me. I've been gone for a little while. I had to make a few adjustments to my room. If you couldn't already tell my background, I had to make a couple adjustments. I upgraded some of my equipment, so hopefully I could be better for y'all. You feel me? So with that being said, we finna jump right into this video. I got that merch dropping for y'all soon, man. Comment down below if y'all want me to drop that merch for y'all. About to jump right into this.
Evolved. And if I have the ability to be able to shoot something that is as powerful as a grenade, are you going to be like, that's your right, because if someone can have it, I should too.
It's the Second
or someone
Amendment.
can, and that's the problem. There has to be some restriction, unless you all believe that we should all be able to have nukes at our homes, grenades at our homes, grenade
We
launchers
should
at our
have.
homes.
We should be able to have equal whatever the government has.
Welcome back to Middle Ground. My name's John. I'm the host of the Radical Empathy podcast, and I'll be moderating today's discussion. Our topic is pro-gun versus anti-gun, and our first prompt is, I fired a gun. If that's true for you, please step forward.
So my family does hunt. That's a part of our culture. And when I was younger, my dad, I've gone with him. I've never killed an animal, but I have gone with him for like tracking purposes or, being outside, connecting with nature. And he did teach me how when I was younger. So it's not something I've done regularly, but I have done it.
Same here. I've got like family friends that are very into guns, and one summer they wanted me to have the experience of like shooting a gun, so I tried it.
Do you want to eliminate escapism like porn, video games, and binging social media so you can finally get locked in with the laser focus and discipline you need to reach your biggest goals? Have you struggled?
I didn't love it, but try everything once, I guess.
Why didn't you love it?
I just didn't like the feeling. It was really heavy. I was very young, and I don't know, it just wasn't for me, I guess.
I spent a lot of time in the Middle East growing up, so when we were in the Middle East, we would hunt, use guns in general, and when I would come to America, my family has had guns, I even have guns, and so I've shot multiple times.
Well, I've shot a gun, I loved it, and my whole family loves guns, so I think that's kind of how the culture was instilled on me.
Yeah. Well, my whole life is guns. I own over 300-400 guns. You know what I mean? So I shoot them all the time, every day. And I'm also a United States Marine Corps war veteran. I've been to war, so I shot a lot of guns in my life.
If y'all don't already know,
Thank you.
if y'all don't already know, this dude right here in this corner, that is Black Rambo. Shout out to Black Rambo. I just had a tongue twister. Shout out to Black Rambo, bro. He's a very good gun advocate, bro. I'm telling y'all. He shoot crazy amounts of guns. Crazy amounts of guns.
I grew up around guns. My father was military and police. My older brother was military and police. My little brother is military. And I was taught to fire weapons at a very early age because my father believed that if you remove the curiosity from a child about the gun and they're uncomfortable with it, they won't be interested. So he was right. It created gun safety in our home. I did not like firing a gun when I was young, and I fire guns now regularly as an adult. It is about the gun and how it feels and how it shoots and how you operate it. So
That's crazy. I do that with my kids.
yeah.
Yeah, they don't even mess with them.
Yep,
You know
so it
what I
takes
mean?
away
I
all
can
the
keep them all
curiosity.
over the house.
Yeah.
They don't want it
Yeah.
anymore. Dad,
Yeah.
man, that's a gun. You know.
I was the same. I grew up in Alabama, but my
Yeah,
family
so
didn't hunt, weren't military.
It's kind of sad, but it's kind of right. People should make guns feel normal to their children, because regardless of the fact, you know what? Hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're gonna watch for a little bit longer before I get
as
to
a
talking.
pastor, but they just believe in them for self-defense, and so they were always around the house. We were also instructed very young with firearm safety, and then if my brothers especially wanted to shoot growing up, then my dad would take them and practice with them. I mostly didn't want to because I also have never loved the feeling of shooting a gun. Even now, I have a gun. I'm a registered concealed carry permit owner, but I don't love the feeling, to be honest. And you're right, it differs based on the gun. But I'm not a hobbyist. Like, I think it still revolves around the element of self-defense for me. So it's something I think you need to take responsibility for.
Would anybody want to kind of elaborate just on like the feeling of firing a gun, whether it's positive or negative, just as more of an experience?
It depends on the gun, but like, you know, a lot of them kick really heavily. Like, even I have a revolver that I got that's meant for women. It's about this big, and it's great to carry because it's small, it's easy, it's light, but shooting it sucks. It really hurts. Some of the larger guns, like I've shot an AR-15, it's like butter. It doesn't hurt at all to shoot it. So it definitely depends on which instrument you're using.
I think the person too. I got post-traumatic stress, but they told me I got it different. I get a rush. So now when I shoot a gun, it's like,
oh shit.
You know what I'm saying? I relieve all the stress, everything.
That's why his name Rambo, bro.
Time,
that's why his name Rambo.
So it's all on the person and the gun and everything, you know?
We're gonna bring in our disagreeer.
Why you never shot a gun?
So
Look, he looking like
growing up, my family, we didn't really have a lot of guns around the house. And my cousins or my relatives didn't really have guns, or it wasn't like an outing.
It wasn't a thing. It wasn't
an outing, and I found a pellet gun. That's the only thing that my father had growing up, was a pellet gun that he hid in his closet away. And it was one day where me and my sister were playing around, and I found it, and I actually, pointed it towards my sister. So it was a very traumatic experience for myself, right, and for my family, to the point where when that was brought up, it was more so like somebody said, education on how guns are not as helpful around communities of color. If there's not a right education.
Where did you grow up? Because
I grew up in New York.
I live around New Orleans, Louisiana.
I grew up in New York, Brooklyn, New York.
Is it dangerous?
Yes.
So you don't think you need something to protect yourself?
Well, not particularly in Brooklyn, New York, because there were already a mass surveillance of police who had guns,
yeah, but,
right?
But
bro, you can't always wait on police, bro. Police is not always gonna be there to save you. Things happen like this, bro. Like this. You feel me? Like that. You won't even be ready. You got a better chance at pulling a gun out and shooting somebody yourself than calling the police and waiting for them, because they gonna take all day to get there. Because it's probably thousands of other people that's calling them just like you.
Police, you gotta call police. It takes time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes you just gotta take matters into your own hands.
Gotcha. Perfect. It was never a curiosity for me because of that traumatic experience that I had with my sibling and not really having guns around. So I just never had that inkling in my life to even try to go.
When me and my little brother, shouts out to my little brother, bro. His name Dante, bro. When me and my little brother was little, bro, he had a BB gun. He had a BB gun. My friend Wesley had bought us a BB gun. It was only $20, bro. One of them little cockback shits. Me and my little brother was taking turns shooting each other, bro. No cap. I would chase him around the neighborhood with my BB gun, and he would chase me. We would take turns chasing each other with the BB gun, bro, shooting each other. That shit sting, bro. That's how you know, like, it just depends on how you grow up, bro. Like, me and my little brother, we had fun with it. But, like he said, for him, it might be traumatic for him because he's scary. You feel me? He didn't grow up around that. I didn't grow up around it either. But me and my little brother was having fun. My older brother took this shit and accidentally, because he was like, bruh, it's a BB gun, bro. I'm about to see what this motherfucker could do. He took that bitch, pointed it right at his neck, shot himself in the neck with that bitch. He say, that shit sting. Bro, it just sting, bro. Like, it's just a BB gun, for real. Like, it just sting. That's the worst it could do. Now, a real gun, that's different. That's what people got to understand, the difference between real guns and BB guns. Or pellet gun. Pellet guns is different, too, because some of them got a little sharp tip.
To a range, or even when friends would suggest it, I would be like, oh, okay, good for you, you know, but I don't really have that interest.
It's understandable.
Did you,
bro seems scary. Like he
actually
seemed like he's
accidentally shoot
scared
your
to shoot
sister
a gun.
as well, or did you just point
No,
it out?
it was just, watching film and
Yeah.
we're playing,
I got you, blah,
right,
blah,
you know,
yeah.
bad guy or good guy.
You could have
and
made
then-
a big mistake.
And it was a pellet gun, and my mom was like, "Boy, if you point that again," and
I ain't gonna lie, if my mom would have seen that shit, me and my little brother would have got our ass whooped. But did that stop us? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Me and my little brother, we was running rampant with, bro, I'm telling you, me and my little brother, we used to have some fun, bro. We used to love making toy guns and playing with toy guns and shit, bro. My mom can vouch. She can tell you, like, literally, I had so many Nerf guns from my friends that my friends giving me Nerf guns, bro. I used to love little Nerf guns, bro. No cap.
Your mom knew that you wasn't supposed to point it.
Right.
If they would have taught you earlier,
Exactly.
Right.
you would've
Exactly. It's like, it's a household thing, bro. It's a household thing.
known that.
right, but I think they didn't teach me because we didn't have guns around. None
Even
of
with
my
the
family
BB
had
gun.
guns around. Even the BB guns, like
They should have
it was-
showed you.
They should have
it
showed
wasn't-
them the
It wasn't
yeah.
a thing.
It just wasn't a thing in your house.
to
Your
have
dad
in my
just had it.
family.
It was in the closet.
Exactly.
He might have shot it 2 or 3 times. I got you.
Exactly.
I
And
got
my
you.
parents grew up and they didn't really go to the range, or
I
none
got
of
you.
their friends even spoke about it as well.
Makes
Well, and you
sense.
can't negate the fact that, like, access-wise, illegally in New York, I mean, how much access do you guys even have?
Exactly.
Like,
It's
only
not even-
celebrities
yeah.
and, like, very important people
That
can even
too.
obtain the right to self-defense in New York. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know, I think
yeah.
that's a problem, too, because it's like, how much education did your parents get? Like, how much access did they have? And if they did
Right.
want to teach them, like, where's there a range? You can't go to a range in New York.
In
like,
New York,
you
yeah.
know, they really do strip people
He's right.
in whole geographic areas of being able to access what we got in the South, you know?
They do.
All right, we're gonna reset. Next prompt. I'd let my children be around guns. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Chat, I'm gonna take a moment to ask
Cannabis.
y'all to
It's not
please
just
hit
legal
that
in
like
38
button. Help my
states.
videos get
It's a
recommended. man.
$36 billion
Feel me?
global industry.
Hit that subscribe
growing.
button, bro. Y'all might
Are you?
even forget y'all subscribe to me. This
Not
is what
since
I'm
the start of
saying.
the
Like
internet
y'all
have
are
we
gonna
seen such
forget
career
y'all even
potential.
subscribe. Y'all might as well just hit
I
it.
have 3 children, ages 10, 7, and 4. I mean, I carry regularly, so they know that the gun is on my person. They never are curious about it. They never really want to touch it because they know what I've taught them, right? And that's what it comes down to is I've taught them, you can touch this, you can look at it. It's not that exciting. In fact, it's actually quite scary. If you were to use this wrong, you would kill somebody. And that's terrifying to children, right? So they have learned, well, you know how to operate it, so you've got it and you've got us and you're keeping us
You
safe.
see,
There's no
she's-
need for
She's a good parent, bro. She's a good parent. You gotta understand, like, there's really shitty parenting out there, bro. There's really bad parenting, bro. Like, some people would tell their kids something, their kids won't even listen. Like, you gotta really instill that into their mind. Like, this is dangerous. Like, you can't use this unless you really have to.
for me to need to touch that or look at it or play with it.
I've
for the
always
gun.
felt like that too, you know what I mean?
It's
like,
not a game.
If you don't
It is
show
not.
the kids when they're young, like if you say, hey, here's my gun, come on outside. You wanna see what the gun do? Come on, put your earmuffs on, let's go. Put your glasses on. Pow! The kids, no, I don't wanna touch that. I don't want nothing to do with that, daddy. Hey, let me leave that alone, you know, and they learn. You have to show them, you know what I'm saying? You have to lead by example. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if I'm shooting, I need to teach my son and my kids at an early age so I can know they won't have no problems later on down the line.
If you tell a child don't touch my gun, the thing that they want to do most
touch
is
the
touch
gun.
your gun.
Just
Like,
touch the
anyone that has
gun.
kids knows
Exactly.
if you tell them not to do something, that's all they want to do.
Rambo, you said you had 300 guns?
Yeah, I got about 300 guns, yeah. And my kids are on them all the time, all day. I got them all around my bed.
You don't
all
worry about them?
Well,
ever
first of
picking one
all,
up?
I don't leave them loaded. To operate a gun, you can't just grab it and squeeze it. You know what I mean? You gotta cog it back, take it off for safety. You might have to take it out the holster. You know what I mean? I have one gun that I keep on me for stuff like that. The rest of them, they're in safes, and maybe a shotgun here. Maybe I might have a gun under the table somewhere, you know, in a magnet. I
wanna
got
get guests
a couple
in his
guns
house.
all over, you know, I got
At
a
any
couple.
moment, you have a gun pointed at you, ready.
You know what I mean? They all over the house, you know what I mean? I can't lie, you know. But I'm from Louisiana, man. It's a
It's a cultural
it's a
thing.
culture. Like I grew up, my father had like 30 shotguns in his closet. It's a cultural thing. It's a sportsman's paradise in Louisiana. That's all we do: hunt, fish, shoot.
If I had children, I would teach them in a proper way. I think it's harder specifically because I was born and raised in California. Is it hard in California? Absolutely. Especially because the right to bear and conceal arms is definitely harder to obtain. There are many cases where California just constantly wants to instill laws to hinder people's freedom to exercise the Second Amendment. And so in terms of the school systems and public school systems, I would not trust my children to be trained with a gun. I think that's something for the parents, and that's something that should be instilled by the parents from the young age, like we've discussed, because children need to understand that the right to protect themselves is a freedom and is within our amendment.
He's right.
And when you are constantly seeing, for example, even in the media, where guns should be feared for, it kind of creates a controversial statement for our simple fundamental amendment rights.
My son's been having a loaded gun in his room since he was 10 years old. And his
You
room
said
is
loaded?
Loaded. Not one in the chamber, but in the magazine. He knows how to operate it and everything. He has a bulletproof vest, he has a gun, he has everything. Now he has way more. I'm a Marine Corps war veteran. I've seen death. People could get crazy, and I just had to teach my son, like, hey, he might have to save me.
Yeah,
Wait
like
on the
you
police,
bro,
man.
you
can
never
call
know,
them,
bro. You never
but
know.
It might be too late.
You don't know until you
I
put in that
don't have
situation,
kids,
bro.
and I don't plan to have kids. But if I did, like, I would absolutely want them trained, particularly young girls. I think it's really, really important for females to learn to exercise the Second Amendment and to protect themselves. Like, if you want to talk about feminism, that is the only thing that actually makes you equal to a man as a woman. Like, that is, to me, just, it's a crime to not teach girls how to defend themselves. Yep. I want to add one caveat, though, which is I do have another family member I won't identify, but who had some significant issues in adolescence and was having a lot of violence issues and was having some run-ins with the police. In those kinds of situations, you also have a responsibility as a parent, as a family member, to keep dangerous guns away from kids who are showing those kinds of signs. And that's on you as a parent in the home. You know if your kid's not right. You know,
right.
And you have a duty to ensure that they are no longer accessing those and that you're notifying law enforcement, you're notifying the school. And I do think, but like, I don't want to just carte blanche say like all kids are fine around guns. Not all kids are fine around guns, so.
We're gonna pull in our disagreeers.
So I would say, you know, just this last year, it was reported that among child-related deaths in America, gun violence was one of the main factors. That's alarming, right? Even before I knew that statistic, if I ever have kids, and I am planning on having kids, I would not allow my children to be around firearms.
Where did you get your statistics from? Because sometimes I look on the internet, it say one thing, then it say another thing, and so you might be looking at something that might not even be right.
But it is accurate.
Well, it's accurate.
I don't know. I just making sure.
It is accurate, but it's accurate because death in children is exceedingly rare. There's very few things that kill them, period. And when you look at the number of things that could kill them, yes, that outranks like drowning or being run over by your parents' car. But that statistic, and many like it, get thrown around to say like this is a huge problem that's happening all the time.
I want to add, it's not like it's a bunch of kids running around shooting each other. You got some adults killing kids too. You feel me? With guns. You feel me? Guns are not meant to be put in everybody's hands. But regardless of the fact, the wrong people are still gonna get guns. Still. Chat. The wrong people are still gonna acquire firearms, bro. Whether it be if they can go to the store and buy it, or if they can get it off the streets, they're still gonna be able to have guns. There's so many guns out there. Even if they took away all the guns out of America, bro, there will still be guns in America. I promise you that.
That's not the reality. It's just that it's a low.
I feel like even though if it's like a low probability, we should do what we can to stop it, right?
Wouldn't it be crazy if you could create voiceovers that sound like a raspy old man?
A young teenage girl.
Or a guy.
It is still the truth that is the number one killer of children.
I mean, is there a number of children that you would care about?
Is it suicide killing?
Well, so I worked as a mental health.
Related.
Yeah, so I worked as a mental health therapist, and I specifically worked with a lot of kids too. But yeah, I mean, right now we have 50,000 suicides a year. Of that, 29,000 are from guns. Of those, 90% are successful when people do attempt. But when they do attempt with other different things, so say cutting your wrist, it's at 6.2%. If we look at things like drug overdoses, it's at like 10, 12%. It's because you have the ability to call the police, you have the ability for someone to find you. And so when it comes to things like having guns around children, you're putting it at a high rate of all of those different things.
The same is true having a pool at your house or having a car that you're driving. So I could ask you the same thing, like what number before we ban these other?
Yeah, I mean, do we have rules on driving?
We do have
How
rules.
many
We have a
rules do we
lot
have?
of rules on guns, a whole lot of rules on guns.
You don't think the parents should teach them?
But no. So here's a great way to put it. Do you want your kids around drugs, doing drugs? No. But do you want to educate them on them? Yes. So there's a difference between like, I want my kids around it versus I'm going to educate them. Of course, I'm going to educate my kids on guns. The same way I'm going to educate them around a lot of things that I don't want them to do, but that's what we have to do. There is over 300 million guns in America, so I'm going to have to teach my kid that. And the other thing is too, is there has to be a line drawn for everyone. Forget everything, throw everything out the door. Is there a number that would draw you to say, you know, I want heavy restrictions? I've had debates with thousands of people over this, and they'll say like, no, I don't care. It's amendment right, which it's an amendment. We literally added it, and we changed the amendments, and we have many times. So to me, I throw that all out the window and just say, what is that number? What does that look like to you?
I think for me, the number would have to be that you could prove that there are more lives being lost to gun violence than saved.
Oh, that's easy. That's already happening right now.
It's no way. All right, so last year,
yeah,
about 18,000 people were killed with a gun.
Yeah.
They estimate 162,000 people saved their own lives in interactions where they
Wait, you said how many people died with a gun last year?
Around 18,000.
But there's 29,000 just in suicides and guns last year. You're completely wrong.
I said gun homicides. 18,000 or so gun homicides.
And
we're going to separate this out.
Why?
Because suicides are a whole different matter. And
Suicides is different from
we're going to talk
homicide.
about homicides where you have no control in the situation.
Yeah, sorry.
Around 18,000 people were murdered last year with guns.
Yeah.
162,000 are the rough estimates for how many people saved their lives last year with a gun.
And
so when
define
you
save your lives.
They were in interactions where the statistics show they would have definitely or certainly lost their lives had they not had a gun to protect themselves. So they were in high-stakes situations where had they not had a gun to protect themselves, it is almost certain they would have been murdered.
I have a question. Did they have to like shoot the gun in order to save themselves?
Yeah, that's
but look, these people, you can look at these people and tell they have never been put in a situation where they need to defend themselves, bro. So if they was to be put in that situation, they're gonna shit their pants, bro. They're gonna shit their pants.
Because I've studied that statistic in depth, and what
you
you're
didn't seem to know it.
No,
no, they don't always have to have shot the gun. It is whether or not they had a gun. Sometimes they had to shoot it, sometimes they did not. But still, the statistics about how many people are saving their lives every year dwarf the number of gun violence homicides.
There's a problem with the statistic. I'll make it quick, which is there's no way to say for certain you would have died if you didn't have a gun. Let's say I go in to rob someone with a gun, and then they had a gun and I left. That is not a statistic to say you would have died if you didn't have a gun.
Bro, all of these statistics don't matter, bro. Like, bro, regardless of the fact, it's gonna be somebody out there that's gonna try to hurt you and take what you have, bro. Regardless, bro. Regardless. It could happen to any one of them people on this show and they don't even know it. They so oblivious. They think if you take all the guns away from out of the hands of every American, that there still won't be guns on the streets.
Right.
And that's what that study actually shows.
That's not what it showed. It shows they were interactions where somebody had a gun to their head. They were in a high-stakes situation, and had they not had a gun to
that
defend
person would
themselves,
have for sure pulled
they
the trigger.
most certainly would have.
How would you know that?
How would you know? How would you know that 29,000 people committed suicide in a year? How would you know that?
How would you know that?
And again,
I hate having debates with people like this, bro, because they don't look at your reality. They always just ask a bunch of stupid ass questions, bro. Like, how would you know?
Say you don't have the right to
of course I don't fucking know. How would you know? How would you know 29 or 50,000 people fucking committed suicide last year, bro? The same way you know is the same way she know.
Situation.
I would say that
because I would say I would much rather err on the side of being able to defend yourself, and that's a lowball statistic. It's really around 500,000 to over 1 million they estimate maybe have interactions where they save their lives, but they can't measure that because it's harder to measure things that don't.
That's why I'm not really when it comes to debates, bro. I don't do statistics, bro. I look at the reality.
Like, if your child started showing like mental health warning signs, like maybe they're like showing signs of early serial killer traits, or they're being really depressed, what do you think that letting them experience a gun and firing a gun and knowing how to use it, how do you think about that? Like,
yeah, I think that is it's like non-negotiable. First of all, when I say they have access, they don't have access. All of our guns are in safes, right? So they can't access them anyway. But I'm telling you right now that if any of my children showed any mental distress, emotional distress, or had to be on medications, they would have no access to my weapons whatsoever. And I think that is a huge issue. And when you say, here's this huge statistic of how children have died with guns, the issue is going to every time go back to mental health. not the gun. Because if a child has a mental health issue, they will find a way to hurt someone or hurt themselves.
It sounds like you're pretty vigilant.
I'm very vigilant, and I do think that we have some issues with parents not taking authority in their home and not being able to recognize your child has an issue. If your child has an issue, you are vigilant in your home to make sure that those guns are secure and safe. If my husband went off the rocker, I'd take his guns from him.
There was a comment made earlier, I think by Hannah, that if there is an issue with your kid, if something's going on, you know. And I just don't agree with that. I don't think that that's true. You really do not always know. And I do think it's better to err on the side of safety. And like Dom was saying earlier, death by suicide with a gun is much higher. And you don't always know what's going on with your kids. And as much as you want to, and you want to say, like, where is the parent, you don't know what that parent is going through.
It's nothing you can do about that, bro. If somebody wants to kill themselves, bro, I'm not saying let them kill themselves.
Just giving that access to the kid and
bro, if it happens, bro,
puts them at a much higher risk.
If it's to that point, bro.
Sorry, I gotta put.
Trolling Valorant players with a neon voice changer. Rena, you want to see how fast neon really is?
You like the
You're expecting?
I am, yeah.
Is this your first
You better hope so.
Sometimes it's nothing you
This is
can
my
do,
first child.
bro.
I am expecting a girl, and I don't think that I'm going to build her feminism off of whether or not she can have a gun. I want her to be able to protect herself, stand up for herself, and be comfortable in who she is without a gun.
So if she's very strong and very well trained, and she's a confident young lady, and she's a feminist, and she has a 300-pound man with a gun pointed at her, what do you think is...
Why does this man have a gun?
Well, yeah, okay. So
see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I hate doing debates. Why would she ask, why does this man have a gun? You see what she's getting at. The 300-pound man has a gun. Your 130-pound daughter can do nothing against a 300-pound man with a gun, bro. What she gonna learn? Some fucking jujitsu and try to take him down? No, bro. No. He gonna pop her ass, bro. Pop her ass. He don't even gotta pop her. He just put her in a fucking chokehold. What makes a female equal to a man, going back to what she said, is being able to lay somebody out. You feel me? If they need to. Now it's like a mental thing. Like, people gotta understand everybody can't have guns. You feel me? Because going back to what they said, people do kill themselves. Like, that's just, it happens, bro. Like, but I honestly, bro, it's like a win-win, bro. It's a win-win on both sides, bro. Because you can't take away every gun from every American, bro. Even if you did, it's still gonna be people gonna be stabbing each other. It's still gonna be violence, bro. Somebody is gonna find a way to get a gun, bro. In America, they're gonna still smuggle weapons in, weapon parts in. They're gonna find a new way to make a gun, bro. Literally. So regardless of the fact, it's like it doesn't change. Now, what could help is if everybody had a gun. You feel me? That could help, because basically you're fighting fire with fire. If, let's say I'm in a movie theater, right? And it's me and like 30 other people in there, and it's an intruder. So the intruder runs in there, but we all got guns. But he runs in there with his gun. Bro, he's not gonna make it very far, because 30 people is literally pointing guns at him, bro. He's not gonna make it far at all, bro. You feel me? So, the only way somebody would do something stupid like that if everybody had guns is if they had a death wish. You feel me?
To her statistic, which is, hey, it saves people because there's a gun pointed to their head. But that's why we're having the discussion of banning those guns. And if you say,
guns?
well,
bad guys are never
the bad guys are gonna be like,
we gotta reset. We have to reset. Gun violence is destroying black communities. Will the agreeers please step forward?
You know, all the gun
These aren't even black people. There's 2 black people on there, but the rest of these people, how would they know? These aren't black people.
Related deaths in America, black children are suffering the most from gun-related deaths. Since 2006, it has been increasing that black children are the victims of gun-related deaths in America. And out of 14% of black people in America, black people make up 83% of gun-related deaths in America. So,
and why do you think that's true?
I know it's true because I've seen it growing up in different neighborhoods, whether it be in Southern California or whether it be in New York. I've seen it by police-related deaths in America, and even being perceived with a water gun. Black children are murdered. For example, in the 1960s, we've seen the Black Panther Party in America, who started to legally, by the way, have a right to carry and protect their communities. But it wasn't until a black resistance group that Ronald Reagan at the time, who was the governor of California, enacted the Mulford Act, which then restricted most of Californians from having guns. But the whole time, we had white Americans carrying in California, we had white Americans carrying everywhere else, but it wasn't until a black resistance group, I want you guys to understand that. It wasn't until black resistance
what is he saying?
group, Black Panther.
He's saying that I don't think he's pulling the race card. I feel like he's on Ronald Reagan's side, basically.
Parties came out and started to protect their communities, that America said, oh, we have to have more strict gun laws.
We also try and de-escalate.
I'm gonna skip through some of this stuff because they not talking about nothing.
Getting rid of our nukes and reduce. You know, you're talking to basically the street racing drivers and saying like, hey, I on the street, and why did they?
1870s, where basically they still had things on the books to block black people from getting guns. That's a history that has followed us. I love that you brought up the Black Panthers. This should be a wake-up call. Yes, when the black community has started to organize after things like the Atlanta Massacre and the Tulsa race riots, what happened? They started arming themselves. They started rising up. You had the Deacons of Defense that were out here guarding Martin Luther King Jr., and they came in and squashed them. Shortly after 1964, you get the Civil Rights Act. 1968, they come in and pass the Gun Control Act, which creates a system that has a background check and all of this, but most importantly, it starts stating things that people can be stripped of their gun rights for. And what's chief among it? Having a felony. Who's most likely to be arrested? Black people are 6 times more likely to have a record than white people. This is the scam. It has always been about eliminating black people's rights to access their Second Amendment. It's super racist, and today we see that continuing to play out in the black community. So, but to say that like gun control or guns are the problem, no, like in fact what we're doing is we're making them more likely to be targeted by police. This is where you get stop and frisk. It's about gun control. They only get something off them like 3% of times, but it gives them the excuse to come in and shake them down. You have, I think, 20% higher likelihood that black people to this day are convicted, sentenced, and given sentencing enhancements, that's from the Sentencing Commission, if they're black. So this is something that has continued to be targeted against the black community, and what I can't understand from your side is why would you come in and say, give that same government more power?
But are you saying there's an issue where black people don't have access to guns?
Yeah,
like
or
they
like
need more
legally.
guns. Like black people need
No,
more
I
guns.
think
But
legally,
I feel like I'm hearing two contradictory things, because I'm hearing black communities have a gun issue because they have too many firearms.
You're saying
black
they don't
communities
have enough.
have a gang issue. They have a violence issue. They have a poverty issue. These are things that lead to criminality. But when you come to black people being able to legally access their right to carry a gun and not being shaken down by the government for it, and not being incarcerated for it and permanently stripped of their right to vote after they've been caught with a gun, yes, this has been a complete disenfranchisement of the Second Amendment towards the black community. And we can talk about the violence issues happening because I think they're government related too. But that's
that goes back to what I said. If you got a gang breaking into your house, trying to steal your car, coming onto your lawn, your property, trying to take what you worked hard for, you think I'm just going to sit back and call the authorities and wait for them to come after they already just stole my shit or broke into my house and put a gun to my head? Absolutely not. You have to fight fire with fire. Now, say I'm in there with my 2 kids, my 2 boys, right? And all 3 of us got guns. So it's us versus them. And we end up doing our business. We end up scaring them away. They run away without nothing. They don't take nothing because we was able to defend ourselves, bro. You can't, if you take away the guns people are still gonna have guns, chat. It's still gonna be violence. People are still, bro, someone could break in your house with a knife, bro, and put a knife to your neck, bro, and tell you, give me everything you got. What are you gonna do? There's nothing you could do.
That are creating the violence
So you
issues
think
in these communities.
if that area had more guns, there'd be less violence?
I think if you had more gang
Yes,
intervention.
yes, there would be less violence because more people would be able to defend themselves, bro. More people would be able to defend themselves, bro. If I'm getting jumped right now by a bunch of dudes, or I'm getting walked down by a bunch of dudes, they chasing me, and they got guns, I can't shoot back at them. I can't shoot back at, they got guns and they chasing me, but I can't shoot back at them because I don't have a gun, because y'all took guns away, but they got guns illegally off the street. Exactly, bro. Exactly. You have to fight fire with fire, bro. I'm telling you. That's how you beat gun violence in America if everybody has guns, bro. Look at Russia, bro. Look at places like Africa. Yeah, gun violence happens there, but it's not as common as America because everybody can obtain a firearm.
And I think if you had ceasefires,
No, but I'm
I think if you
asking
had call
in general, would more guns help?
No, I don't think so.
Would
Because
less-
you
would
have
less-
violence
would
issues.
less guns
I don't.
help?
I
Yeah,
don't
it's still gonna be violence. It's still, but with the right to bear arms, people are more likely to stand up for themselves instead of just letting these people just come and take what's theirs, bro. Like, you gotta stand up for yourself. Nobody is not gonna come and save you, bro. Nobody is not your savior, bro.
Pay for that because you have a violence issue.
It's funny to
You have a
me.
poverty
It's funny to me.
issue.
No,
I agree.
We agree. We,
Oh,
I,
really?
think,
I think
I
it's
think we
fine.
agree on
Yeah.
that. And that, like you're talking about the
can be
over policing, the being racist about who gets the gun. That we agree on.
Violence comes up because of different issues, right? Like sometimes I think mental health gets vastly overblamed for these things. Occasionally, yes, but more often it is because of the fact that people don't have opportunities. They get involved with gangs. They're looking for places to go. Violence is very limited to people under age 25. Once their brain is fully developed and once they get the resources they need to get on a better pathway out of these communities,
No
you
offense,
see
bro.
violence.
She's pro-gun. I'm pro-gun.
The thing
But I
funny
hate
to me is
statistics,
y'all
bro.
talk all this
Please
violence.
stop talking
I'm in
about
the street.
Exactly.
The same
Exactly.
people that you talk about come up to me. I make YouTube videos. I get banned.
Black Rambo gonna speak the facts, bro.
All the time. I teach proper stuff. How to fly with a gun. How to do this with a gun. I get banned. You can't even find my stuff. And you know what? People come up to me and say, hey, Rambo, man, I really appreciate you, man. Without you, I wouldn't know how to do this. I wouldn't know how to do this. Hey, Rambo, I make bullets. You know how many calls I got from people? Like, I got goosebumps. Calls I got from people saying, your bullets saved my life.
What are you saying? Violence isn't an issue in those communities?
What is the issue with every community? It's gangs,
exactly.
man.
I think that violence is like it's tied
Exactly,
to
bro.
those black.
It don't have.
Well,
It's
I
not
can't
even
say
just
more
black
guns will
communities.
help. I
It's,
think more control
bro.
with like gangs and stuff. It's not like regular people just running around, just shooting them up, killing
But
people.
where do the gangs get their guns?
Right.
Guess what? From anywhere. You don't think they can
in
go
white
overseas?
communities,
You-
let me tell y'all something. In white communities, you feel me? No offense to all my white people, you feel me? In white communities, there's less violence because white people have more to do. You feel me? They're able to take their kids hunting. You feel me? They're able to take their kids to amusement parks, have fun, go on family trips. Bro, when you put a bunch of black kids in the hood, of course they're gonna resort to gangs and drugs and, bro, they're gonna, of course, bro, like, of course. It's more for y'all to do because y'all have more money. You feel me? Y'all are able to do more. You feel me? Y'all could go and buy y'all kids ATVs and ride ATVs on y'all land. These black people in the hood can't do that, bro. These people in low income housing can't do that. And that's what I'm saying. I look at the facts, the reality. That's why these people, they could talk statistics all they want. But let's look at the reality, bro. It's a lot of people that join gangs because they're bored.
You telling me?
No, not
You telling me?
overseas.
You telling me a boat of guns never came from overseas?
Well, no, it relates to the government.
You telling me they
and
never
if a-
shipped guns from overseas?
What? No.
I know the people that used to do it, man. What you
Well,
talking about?
We do know that in about 40% of homicides, they were obtained illegally. So where they got it, how they got it illegally. This is another thing I wanted to address when you guys were saying about guns getting stolen off cars. I had a gun stolen in my car. I'm very good with my gun. I would never take it off my person.
If they want a gun, they're gonna get it,
I
bro.
had to take it out because I was out of the
Even if it come from overseas,
I wasn't
bro.
allowed to take it into the governor's office. Even
I'm telling you, people, they
but I
do
had to
that
put it
shit.
in my car, put it in my glove box. It was a last minute thing, and I was like, okay, I guess I have to like leave this in my car.
Did you lock your, like,
locked
glove
my
box?
car. Yeah, I did everything I could. Broke in, stole it. This is how people, and it's
can't
literally,
lie.
I mean,
Do you
I
think
got
in that
guns
case?
stolen, too.
Do you think in that case, if you weren't allowed to carry a gun in your car and on you, that it wouldn't have gotten stolen?
had the government not disarmed me and made me go put my gun in my car, it wouldn't have been stolen. Everybody would have
Why
been safe.
have a gun? How come you can't have a taser? Or how come you can't
What
have
the
pepper
fuck?
spray?
What is a
gonna do to
taser,
a
bro?
250-pound man?
What is a taser gonna do, bro?
It does matter.
What is a taser gonna do, bro? Back to what if this 350-pound man had a gun? What is a taser gonna do against a gun? That's what I'm saying. Why the fuck would I bring? You ever heard the saying, "Don't bring a knife to a gunfight," bro? He think he just Mr. Stealthy. He gonna stealth around and just taser people and pepper spray them and run away. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. You act tough. You act gangster, bro. I'm gonna show you. You live by the gun. You gonna die by the gun, bro.
He's done pepper spray up
Have
and
you
then
not
run
seen
away.
videos of people getting tased and continue to come at you?
But
Like, that does
But
not...
I think there's an extreme of like, you're gonna protect yourself. If someone walks behind you and shoots you, what did the gun do? Did it help you?
It didn't.
I want to.
But you're dead. You're dead. If somebody walks up behind you and shoots you with a gun, what are you gonna do, bro? What are you gonna do, bro? This guy, get him out of here, bro. Get him out of here, bro. He's not talking about nothing. He's just saying a bunch of random stuff, bro.
Clarity, because I still feel like I'm hearing like a contradictory thing. Who is in favor of there being more guns in black communities? And why is that?
So according to the Department of Justice and also the Pew Research Center, as the number of guns have increased in this country, as the gun rate owner...
If you live somewhere,
No
you couldn't
offense.
eat,
No offense.
You couldn't feed nobody.
But
You got guns all the way around your house.
statistics.
Everything. You wouldn't get a gun to protect yourself.
that's what we
and they
said.
breaking in doors. And,
No.
but criminals all over though.
To be honest, for me,
that's like stopping
I
terrorism.
So you're
think-
saying you would get rid
Exactly.
of like,
That's like stopping terrorism. You would just allow somebody to hijack a plane, bro? You would allow that shit? Like, if you had a gun on you, you wouldn't, bro. They would have, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. 9/11 probably would have never happened if everybody on that plane was armed. If the majority of people on the plane was armed, 9/11, and they knew how to use that weapon, 9/11 wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't happen.
murder being illegal because clearly people still murder, right?
You can't stop it.
But why do we have murder being illegal if it still happens? What's
Because
the
you
point?
want to catch people.
Because we
Like,
can at least
like come on,
prosecute
man.
them and put them in jail.
So we're there. So you get it. So we know that like by having these laws, it will still reduce it. We've seen it.
Yeah,
in
it's
other
definitely going to
countries.
There shouldn't
reduce
be
it.
laws
There
that
we
apply
go.
to people like
So,
us.
so that's where we need to
More
agree on, which
laws
is
won't make a more reduction.
Wait,
we will.
I don't
do you
think
say the law shouldn't apply to people like
No,
you?
I'm saying you guys are talking about banning guns. All of a sudden we went straight to like we are anti-gun and we are pro-gun to like let's ban guns. Why are you so eager to take away the freedom of people who use weapons properly?
To
for the
protect
sake
you.
of people who are
Because
going to
it's
go
a-
and use
it's-
them
it's a
improperly.
control
This is the equivalent
tactic.
of me saying right now there's 300,000 cases of drunk driving a year, and of those, a small fraction.
Here
get
you
in a
go
car
talking
accident.
about
Why take away my
statistics,
right
bro.
to drink and drive?
Statistics
No,
don't
it's in
matter.
your car.
Look at the
Your car
fucking
cannot
reality.
drive itself,
No.
just like a gun cannot fire itself. So
Sure.
if you take
That's
away my ability to own and fire a gun,
Her analogy's right.
because your
she's
weapon is
talking
the
about-
car.
Yeah.
Your
Your
weapon is you
car.
abusing
A car
the car.
is a weapon.
Yeah, you're talking about you.
It's
We're not talking about you.
irresponsibly using the car.
Anyone on this side in favor of restricting law-abiding citizens' access?
I
to
believe
guns?
that nobody in this life should have a gun. So,
Okay. Oh my
but I'm not the one to say that you shouldn't. You know, I'm all about nonviolence. I don't believe in harming or.
And that right there is what's gonna get you fucked up. I promise you, that shit is gonna get you because they don't give a fuck. People in this world is cruel, bro. They're cruel and they're NPCs. They live life off of social media, bro. Their aura, they have negative aura, bro. You ever walk past somebody and just feel the negative energy just off of them? Like, bro, the negative energy off of some people is terrible, bro. So it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that shit, that pro fucking, what did he say? Pro what?
About nonviolence. I
Yeah,
don't
pro nonviolence or whatever, bro. That will get you fucked up for real.
believe in harming or putting more suffering against any sentient
Well, I
being
think the
in this life,
fundamental,
so I don't believe anybody
the
should
fundamental
have a gun.
aspect of the Second Amendment is not to harm people. It's the right to
To
bear arms.
protect people from people who want to harm people. You might not necessarily want to harm somebody, but somebody else out there will harm your ass. They will come for your ass, bro. They will, bro. They don't care.
Against the terrain.
I believe in that too. I believe in all life is precious. Nobody should have to fucking have their life be ended. But if you play great, if you play crazy, bro, that's just what's gonna come with it, bro. Like, that's just the reality people gotta live. People die every day, bro. It's death. It's gonna be death all around the world. So it really doesn't matter, bro.
Government.
Oh, we'll get
context
to
of
that.
Right.
Let's go back to the prompt. Remember, we're talking just in this section. We're talking about gun violence destroying black communities. Whether or not you agree with that.
I feel like I can speak to it because I just graduated high school and I'm a black student. I went to school at a primarily black and Hispanic school, so there's like a bit of.
I'm not.
I never thought that the shirt I wore to school one spring morning would lead to a federal lawsuit.
I'm probably older than
but the
her.
reaction from the
I don't want to say gang presence, but that.
Can I point something to that too? I think if we focused on gun-free zones, we could kind of question why it is that you had to leave the premise too, right? So these gang members would come to your campus and would hinder your education. So what would happen if the administration or staff was loaded and ready to protect
Exactly, and ready to protect children. But you gotta think, some teachers be ready to crash out too. Some of y'all need to really think about controlling y'all children, because y'all kids be obnoxious in school, bro. Like, very obnoxious, and it's ridiculous, bro. Like, for real.
children instead of allowing mass shootings in children?
But you know what? We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna end the video right here, chat. Chat, I know y'all miss me, man. I had to do some upgrading with my room. If y'all, like I said, if y'all could not already tell, you feel me? I had to make some changes to my room. But with that being said, man, make sure y'all hit that like button. Help my video get recommended. Y'all did an amazing job. Let's try to get this video to 25 likes. 25 likes on this video. Help me reach my goal, man. 25 likes, that's all I'm asking for. But with that being said, man, I love all my supporters, man. Join the community, man. I'm gonna pin my link in the bio to the original video. If you want to go finish the video, I only watched like 40 minutes of the video. Couldn't finish the whole thing because the video was so long. But with that being said, I love y'all and peace.